What's up, guys? Welcome to Inside the H. I'm one half of the Inside the H pod. My name is Kush. You guys can find me on Twitter at Christopher Paul, KUSHTOPHERPAUL. Ike, where can they find you, bro?
They can find me on Twitter at Ike Cuellar. That's IKECUELLAR.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Inside the H pod. I got Ike to the left of me. Ike, how's it going, bro?
It's going good today, man. I was a little bummed out earlier. The Texans lost to the Cowboys, but the Rockets made up for it, man. They always got my back, so it ended in a positive note there.
Yeah, Sunday started out not so good, the Texans breaking our hearts once again, but the Rockets beating the Milwaukee Bucks today. We're gonna get into that a little later, but let's start with the Texans. Um, we talked about this off the air, like off the show a little bit earlier, and for me, this was one of those games that obviously every 4 years, it's always like a big clash between the Cowboys fans and the Texans fans in the state of Texas. For me this year though, like because the season has gone the way it's gone this year, I I honestly didn't think that our team would get up for it the way that they did today, obviously in the loss, but I'll give them credit. They showed up for this game. I didn't think that it would come down to the wire like that. I, I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan, you watched the game last week. Um, I think against the Colts, they like it was a tie game into the fourth quarter, and the Cowboys just freaking took over that game, bro. Like I think it was like tied at 19, and then they scored like 33 points in the fourth quarter, and I thought I thought that's the kind of game that it would be. Like I thought we'll keep it close in the first half, and obviously the second half, I thought they would take over and just run us out of the gym because they have so much talent on that football team. But I was actually surprised and impressed by the Texans today, the way they stayed in that game. But obviously, like you're a one-win team, and obviously you're gonna find a way to lose a game, which they did. But I think the Cowboys they played down to their competition in this game, and they had a lot of missed opportunities in this game that like it could have gone bad for them. But obviously it's the Dallas Cowboys. They're a really good team. We're the Texans. We've had a rough season. Yeah, I wanna know your thoughts on like the lead up to this game as a Texans fan. And did you think that they would show up for this game like they did today for the most part?
No, I didn't, man. I was very shocked at what happened today, and I really thought we're gonna get blown out because the line was something like 17 and a half. That's two touchdowns and a field goal that had us losing that game. And just the way we competed in this game, man, it was very impressive. It's almost like Lovie Smith knew that this is the game that really mattered the whole year for the Houston Texans and the fans because the way they played, never seen them play like that the whole year. And it's almost like he told the team, hey, let's go out there and play hard this game. I find that hard to believe, but the stuff that I was seeing today was just remarkable, man. And everything from the offense moving the chains, getting first downs, using two quarterbacks, in different situations. During a lot of that game, we were, switching Driscoll and Mills and just picking up first downs here and there, and we were able to run the ball really well against them. But I think a big factor in this, that helped us a lot was the Cowboys turnovers, them, muffing the punts and everything like that, and interceptions. You know, um, that helped us a lot. Credit to our defense, and I gotta say, man, Jalen Petrie, man, he's a dog. Like He was everywhere in the field today. He was hitting everybody that caught the ball across the middle. It's almost like every hit he had was just letting the offense know, remember this hit because I'm going to hit you like this again when you come across the middle like this. Even the running backs, he was hitting them hard, and the guy was just everywhere on the football field, man. Really excited to see more of him, but I did not see this coming for us, man. I was totally shocked of how we were playing. We had a chance to win it there, but then you decide to run Rex Burkhead in the goal line and try to score a touchdown. That's not gonna fucking happen, bro. Like I don't care. You could have the best offensive line in NFL, and just to see Rex Burkhead out there, it just told me everything. Like we're not gonna score right here. Like there's no way. But impressive performance by the Texans, and I'm really encouraged what I see from the defense, man, moving forward.
Yeah, talked about Jalen Petre. I think he had a really, really good game today. And like the plays he was making and stuff he's doing on the field today, that's what I like when we drafted him, that's kind of what I saw him doing in his defense. And just to see that, see him put that full complete game together for him personally, I think that was good to watch. And then we you talked about I talked about earlier about the Cowboys missed opportunities. The Texans had some missed opportunities too. You talked about the Rex Burkhead handoff. It got stuffed, obviously. Um, and I think with like 4 minutes to go, we threw it to like Chris Moore, I think. And then it looked like he kind of looked like he reached for the end zone, and they called it just short. And that's another blunder by Lovie Smith, not challenging that play, because I thought like when you're a one-win team, you kind of have to do everything you can to like win a game, right? Like, and I feel like that was one of those plays where it was really close, and I feel like if he at least would have challenged it, then you never know what can happen, right? Like they might say he scored, and then you take the lead. And I think at that point it was what, 23-20, I think.
Yeah, we would
So
have been up by 4
yeah,
after scoring that touchdown, which they would have to go the length of the field to beat us
yeah,
now.
yeah. And so I mean, it's plays like that the whole season that it's like, you wish he would have challenged it, but he didn't challenge it. And it's like you have like you're a one-win team, you have to challenge that at least, especially if it's so close like that. And then they had so many plays where obviously we talked about the Rex Burkhead run, and then on fourth down and goal, I guess the quarterback was going the wrong way, and then the running back was going this way, and just miscommunications. And then to end the game, Laramie two false starts by Laramie Tunsil, like that's not winning football, and you can kind of see why they haven't won a lot of games this season, only one win. And it's just they were so close, man. Like I was with some of the guys at a bar watching the game, and I was like, all right, we're up at halftime, we're probably going to collapse in the second half, but that collapse didn't come until like the very last, minutes of the game, and I was like, man, we could have won this game. And if we would have beat the Cowboys, man, at least we could have had, one Sunday of like happiness, just
Yeah,
to
some
just to beat.
joy.
At least we could have that shit over all the Cowboys fans in Houston. We have bragging rights for the next 4 years until we see them again. So, but didn't turn out that way. Um, and you mentioned earlier, like the two quarterback thing that Lovie Smith was doing, and I think Kyle Allen got like deactivated like right before the game, and I was like, and then they brought up Jeff Driscoll, and I was like, well, maybe they're gonna try the option game with Driscoll like they did earlier in the season. That's what they did, and they kind of had a little success with it. And so now you're in a position where do you like it doesn't really matter if you play Mills the rest of the year? Because I believe he's not going to be your starting quarterback next year anyway. So do you kind of see what Jeff Driscoll has in him to see if you want him to be your backup next year, or do you just ride with Mills? What do you think?
I think at this point, man, you just ride with Mills because I think really they were just using Driscoll to run the ball more, run heavy and, fake the defense out with him and Damian Pierce because they know how much Damian Pierce gets fed as far as running the football. So the defense was stacking the box on him, and we were out two of our main receivers. So we just made it a point that we're gonna be run heavy today. And like you said, it worked out for us. But as far as that call, I totally agree with you, man. Even Seth Payne from Sports Radio 610, he tweeted that, after the game that that play should have been challenged. I don't know why it wasn't. I mean, when you come that close to winning the game, you might as well try to win it. I know you're in the back of your mind, you're still trying to tank, but this is a game that's really important, for the fans and the franchise, hopefully. Um, so to come that close, you got to try to win it at the end and challenge that call because they were only showing one camera angle from that play, if you remember. They didn't show no other camera angle to where before his knee hit, that ball was over that plane, bro. So it looked like he scored a touchdown, but they just decided not, to challenge it. And that would have been the difference in the game right there, in my opinion. But overall, just a um, great effort by the Texans to play like that, like, against one of the best teams in the NFL, against one of the best defenses in the NFL too. Just to have a chance like that at the end against a team like that, really shows that you have pride, you want to win, and you care. So, I really was impressed by that.
Yeah, and I think during a long season like this, people like forget like these guys want to fucking win, bro. And like you kind of saw that, and they're like tired of losing. But I think it's one of those deals where when you go through a season like this, it's easy to check out. But that's why I say I'll give him credit for playing hard today. Um, Unfortunately, Pierce got hurt. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen any news to see whether he'll be out or not. But I feel like if Pierce doesn't get hurt, obviously you would rather have Pierce in that situation over Rex Burkhead. And I'm not saying that he would have won the game or he would have scored, but I think it gives you a better chance because when you have Rex Burkhead out there with a goal to go situation, like I'm not very very confident in handing him the football, even if it's just a yard or some inches, man. Like obviously you feel better uh um with Pierce with the ball in his hands in that situation. But I think they played well enough to win, but they didn't make the plays in order to get over that hump to get the win. And I think for the young guys especially, it's gonna be this will be a good game to look back to hopefully like next year when we have Bryce Young under center and um to dial it back to this game to see what they can do better and how to win games. Because I mean, like you said, it was we're 17-point dogs. Nobody expected us to take it down to the wire. So I think even even though we really sucked the entire year, I think this is like even though we didn't get the win, I think this is a kind of a bright spot for the season. And now it's time to look forward to obviously next game and then against the Chiefs. I'm gonna say we might get blown out against the Chiefs because it's Patrick Mahomes. But then again, this is the NFL. You never know what's gonna happen. I'm not saying we're gonna beat him or anything, but hopefully we can make it close and see what happens. But yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to add one more thing to the Rex Burkhead play. In that situation, we had the ball at the 2. I don't give a fuck what you do, bro. I'm not handing the ball to Rex Burkhead to win the game. If anything, I'm a QB sneak that 3 times in there because I don't want to give that D line enough time to penetrate in there and stop them. They have one of the best defenses in football. I'm not relying on Rex Burkhead to punch it in for me. I'm just gonna throw that out there because that play call really had me heated, man. But I just wanted to say that before we
Yeah,
move
yeah. I
on.
mean, that's a good point. And like, I would have even been fine with like play action fake, because at least like obviously like if it's goal to go, they know the running back is gonna get the ball, and at that point, like Rex Burkhead's not one of those guys where if you know he's getting the ball, he's not gonna make you miss or anything. So at least if you know they're expecting the run, play action fake and throw it to your tight end or something. But and I think that's the criticism by Texans fans for Lovie Smith and really just and Pep Hamilton and all these guys is because there's no trickeration, there's no like innovative play calling by them. It's the same old shit, just like earlier in the game we were up first and second down, right? Just run up the middle. And it's like, why? There's no like there's no innovative play calling. And hopefully next year, I don't know if we're just gonna clean house or whatever, but I hope next year when we get Bryce Young, hopefully whoever the quarterback is, we get a OC and a coach that's like an offensive mind. And I'll throw one example out there, right? Brian Flores for the Miami Dolphins last year. Everybody was ready to, throw the book out on Tua. Tua's a bust. Tua's this and that. They get an offensive mind as a head coach. Look at him now. They're having a lot of success. So and I'm not saying that we're gonna be that, but I feel like if you get that guy in there, kind of it can kind of change things for you a little bit.
Yeah, man, I agree. And don't forget the fact too that Bryce Young is mobile. So whenever the play breaks down, he's out there going, outside to the sideline trying to make something happen, whether it's running or hitting somebody down the field, or you can always do a RPO um, plays with him too because he's such a mobile quarterback. So really looking forward to that, and can't wait for Bryce Young to be a Houston Texan.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of us are on the Bryce Young bandwagon. So Bryce Young to Houston, number one pick. Let's make it happen. And with that, let's go to the Houston Rockets, bro. They had a huge, huge win tonight against the Bucks. I want to get your because we're recording this like an hour, maybe like 30 minutes to an hour after the game has ended, right? I want to know your immediate reaction on the game, what you saw from the Rockets in this game, and the win against the Bucks tonight.
Well, first, Kush, if you don't mind, I wanted to talk about the win we got against the 76ers because that was such a fun game to watch. It went to double overtime, and the vibes at Toyota Center were immaculate because James Harden came back home, and a lot of these guys that are on our team really took that personal, not just because James Harden left us or the way he left us, but a lot of these guys are friends with him. They're still cool with him. So, anytime your homeboy comes back, you're going to try to hoop. You're going to try to put on your best effort there, man. And just had a great overall performance by all of our main guys from Jabari to Jalen and KPJ. I mean, I'm really loving what I'm seeing from Jabari Smith. He's really, turning the corner as far as impacting the game, not only with his 3 pointers and his offense, but even the defense. So in that game, he had some huge threes down the stretch to like before the end of regulation. And this guy is just special because this is a rookie doing this, and you're relying on him to make these shots, and he's coming through for you in the clutch time after time. Jalen Green was him once again. He had 27 points that game. He was just taking over, driving in the basket, having great chemistry with Alfred Shingun, even though Shingun didn't have a great game you know, against the 76ers, really came and did his thing. Um, just getting other guys involved, scoring the basketball where he did, the best. And then KPJ, man, he also came in, clutch for us. He had 24 points. He was dropping some clutch baskets at the end and driving in, getting fouls. But the most impressive one for me was when he D'd up James Harden at the end. I don't know if you remember, but he was trying to shoot it or pass it, and he just blocked him, and we got a steal off of that. But to see him take that challenge on the defense, on the defensive side, it really shows a lot from KPJ because he really wants to win the game. I really feel like last year he wasn't doing this. So that was an exciting win, man. Double overtime. Jabari Smith hitting some big threes. All of our main guys coming through in the clutch, and just the vibes in Toyota Center, were immaculate. Like my boy Zeke says, got to shout him out for that. But yeah, that was the 76ers game. Really think that the games where they take it personal, they play better. Look at the Atlanta game, right? Look at the 76ers game. You know what I'm saying? So these games they get up for, it's just about translating that effort to when you play teams that you're not familiar with, like the San Antonio Spurs, the Denver Nuggets, the teams like that. Because on Thursday, when we played them, we just got our ass whooped. There was no defense involved. They were literally making every shot that they were taking. They were playing like it was game seven, Kush. Like every time these motherfuckers play us, they were playing like it was a game seven in the playoffs. For whatever reason, they were on some losing streak. I forgot how long it was, but you know, you just know as a Rocket fan, every time you play them, they're gonna play hard. Um, the whole 48 minutes, they're not gonna give you an ass effort. They're gonna be in your face, on the defensive side, and you're gonna have to beat them, quarter by quarter by quarter, like in 48 minutes. So that game, there really wasn't too much positive to take out of it because we just got our ass whooped. It was like a layup drill for the Spurs, man. But now to get to the game that happened tonight, where we beat the Milwaukee Bucks, just such an incredible performance, man. Milwaukee is one of the top teams in the East, and I really love what I seen from Jabari Smith tonight. He didn't have a great night, scoring the basketball, but the impact he had on defense, he was changing the game with block shots, rebounds. He had 10 boards tonight. He was guarding Giannis the whole game. I think he held them to like 16 points tonight, which is like a career low for him, which is really impressive. And when you have a rookie doing this on Giannis, a guy who won MVP, who's just a huge human being, that's really impressive. And to know that you can impact the game like that without even scoring, it just shows what he brings to our team and how much we need him on this team. So really impressed by that. It was really an impressive defensive performance by the rookie, and I'm looking forward to more of that, especially when he's making his threes, man. So he's got to be on that floor. Um, and now, like even the backcourt tonight, they combined for 48 points. Jalen had a 30 burger tonight. Easy. It looked easy to him. He was on a break, getting all these highlight dunks, playing defense, scoring at will, driving to the basket. Just a beautiful thing to see. KPJ chipped in with 18. just an impressive game to beat this team. You know what you're gonna get when you play the Milwaukee Bucks. These guys won a championship 2 years ago, so they've been there. They got dogs in their own team, and for us to hand them that L, man, was just really, great to see after watching that Texan bullshit earlier. So really happy about that, and looking forward to more of that Rocket basketball, man. Sorry, I kept going on and on, but I love my team, and just wanted to give you some of the highlights there, man. Because if our backcourt keeps playing like that, man, the league needs to be on the lookout for us, man. Because you got them almost combining for 50 points. Then you have Jabari Smith on the team, KJ, all these guys. We're just hungry. It's really looking like we're turning the corner, and just very excited for the future, man.
Yeah, and the first thing I want to talk about is last week on the podcast, we kind of did like our predictions for this week, right? And I said we would go 1-2. I said we would beat the Spurs, which we freaking lost that game. And I said we would lose to the Sixers and the Bucks, and we won those games. So that just shows you how much shit I know about basketball, you know. But like these things you can never predict how it goes. And I I definitely did not see. I mean, I thought we could have won the Sixers game before this week, but I just thought that they were better, like obviously more talent, but they won that game double OT, right? And then we beat the Bucks tonight, and I think you're right, bro. Like I think we're starting to see signs of us turning the corner. Um, Jalen Green's starting to realize his potential. He's going out there scoring in a multitude of ways, and I've been saying this the last few weeks. So what I'm most impressed with and excited for is Jabari Smith Jr., man, because he didn't play offensively, he didn't hit his shots tonight. But the one thing I love about him is that he doesn't let that get into his head. He doesn't let that mess with his defensive intensity and effort. And you saw that tonight. Like, I think I think the most important part about this is defensively, all our guys they're starting to take that challenge, and I think that's gonna pay dividends for later on in the season, and then hopefully into the years to come. Because whenever you build a team, I like to see like my teams be really good on defense. Obviously, you want to see scoring. And we know all these guys can score. They can all put the ball in the basket. But I feel like defensively, whenever you see, yeah, especially young guys like this, just take that challenge and take that initiative to be good on defense. I think that's gonna pay a lot in the future. And as far as the Spurs game, and I feel like these with a young team, this is the stuff that can happen, obviously, right? Because like you said, they get up for the big games, and then it's human nature to kind of slow the pedal against the teams like the Spurs, right? But another thing I want to bring up is prayers and condolences out to Stephen Silas and his family. He lost his father, Paul Silas, this week. Prayers and condolences, and I feel like tonight's win was kind of for him, and
Facts.
they
That's
they
facts.
they had added like extra gear in them because of that. And like John Lucas said, like this is for Coach Silas. And that was pretty cool to see. I think we're starting to see some stuff, starting to turn the corner. And I'm like excited. I'm excited to see what they look like in the rest of the month. Um, because if they start to string some wins together, this is the type of team that can like we know they have the talent. It's just up here I'm putting in my head. It's in the brain and then what's in your heart, right? Like when they show effort like they did tonight, they shown they can beat anybody, bro, like on any given night. So that's that I think that's the part I'm most excited for.
Yeah, I agree, man. And let me say this about, some of the teams that we have lost to here recently, like the Spurs and then the Nuggets when we had to play them back to back. It almost seems like the teams that are so fundamentally sound that do all the little things right are the teams that we have the most trouble with, the teams that we are not ready for, because those teams, they're going to beat you and all those little small things that can change the game. Setting screens, rebounds, um, just smart plays, taking charges, switching defense, adjusting, things like that. When you struggle to defend teams like that, it's a lot of hard work that as a team you have to practice and get ready for, because these teams are so well in doing that, especially when you have like all these international players on the team that just, play defense on you 48 minutes and just give you buckets like Jokic. Like Jokic, not 1 minute in the game is going to take his foot off the pedal, bro. He's always going to be scoring. And I feel like that's what you get to when you play against a Pop team, a Greg Popovich coach team. They're always going to be ready. They're going to D you up for 48 minutes, and you got to have your team ready for those games. So, looking forward for the team to improve on that, to not take those teams lightly, and to be ready for that, because that's a huge challenge. And, I think it's looking good for us right now because of our defense, like you said. So, I think as the year goes by, we'll get better in that. But I'm really impressed, by this win tonight, and looking forward to this home stretch that we have for December. I think they don't hit the road again until Christmas. So I'll be going to a lot of those games, man, and, checking them out, enjoying myself and everything. So looking forward to this, and looking forward to getting my Jabari Smith bobblehead on Thursday. I'm for sure going to be there early to get that. So just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, man. Anybody going to the game Thursday? I probably won't make it because of the day job, but if you guys see Ike, tell him what's up. You know,
Yeah,
um,
man. Say what's up.
yeah. And I want to get off topic real quick of something that happened in the NBA. I think last night or it was the other night. Um, the Pelicans and the Suns game where the Pelicans had the game in hand, and Zion he got the steal. He did a little windmill dunk. It's a little show off dunk, dude. I want to get your thoughts on that because I think that's like an interesting because people have a lot of different opinions about that. Like for me personally, you know what? Don't turn the ball over, bro. Like, like to me, like it's the same thing about like in football when the whole running up the score thing, like just stop them. And to me, I don't have an issue with it. I don't have a problem with it. Um, and I think Zion said in the post game interview that it was kind of a little extra motivation for him because they got knocked out in the playoffs last year by that team, and so understandable. But I want to get your thoughts on it. Are you pro Zion for doing that, or do you think that's in bad taste by Zion?
Um, as a fan, I'm pro Zion dunking that and doing that 360. But at the same time, I also get the Suns because the game is over, and they're just trying to showboat. And even though that's kind of lame that they get in their feelings like that, in the moment when you're playing, your emotions run high. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just out there hooping, and you're gonna get mad about a lot of shit, man. You're gonna get chippy. You're gonna talk a lot of shit. And as a fan, I love that dunk because that shit was nasty. It was a freaking 360 windmill. That's some ridiculous hop for him. It looked like he just wanted to murder that goal. I mean, that shit was crazy. But I also get the Suns, man, because the game is over. And recently they've been losing games, we beat them, I think it was like a week and a half ago or last week. and they haven't been playing well, so they're going to be frustrated at the end of the game. Especially when they lost the game. So I kind of get both sides, man. But you know, as a fan, I want him to do it every single time, bro. Like, give me that. Let me see that dunk because just off that dunk, he needs to be in the dunk contest. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be him, Jalen Green, and KJ Martin for sure. And they can add whoever else, but I mean, we know the NBA is not gonna let us put two Rockets on there. So yeah, as a fan, I want to see more of that.
Yeah, dude. And like this one of those things where obviously people are talking about it. And I just thought like it was an interesting debate to have, you know. That's why I brought it up today, because
No,
like
it's good. Yeah,
yeah, I thought it was an interesting debate to have. And like, yeah, bro, like, and then I think they played today. So I think they played a couple days ago, or was it yesterday? I don't remember. And then that shit happened, and then they played again today, and the Pelicans beat the Suns. So it's like, bro, if I'm a Suns fan, I'm like, yeah, he did all that shit, and y'all were mad about it, but you had a chance to do something about it tonight, and you couldn't beat him. But at the same time, I think Devin Booker was out tonight, so not shocking. But I feel like that's one of those in the Western Conference. Those two teams is going to be fun to watch, especially if the Pelicans get to the playoffs and Suns get to the playoffs and play each other in the playoffs. That's going to be a fun, chippy matchup to watch. Yeah.
yeah, man, I agree. I mean, from Chris Paul, his time here in Houston, we know him pretty well, and he's a petty dude, man. Like when it comes to stuff like that, he's a petty dude, and like he talks a lot of shit too. So he's always gonna say something about it, which doesn't shock me. I mean, I expect Chris Paul to do that, which I don't see nothing wrong with that. I mean, I just think it's funny. It makes the game more entertaining and shit. That's what the fans love to see. So I'm willing. I mean, I want to see more stuff like that, more dunks, just so we can get more scuffles, more fights. Everybody gets their money, their money's worth, bro.
Yeah, it's all about entertainment at the end of the day, bro. Like, so yeah. And then with that, bro, let's end the episode. Um, Texans and Chiefs. I'm thinking about going to the game next weekend, but I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. If I do end up going, uh, hopefully I'll see you guys there. Hopefully we can make it a little bit of game like we did this week. But and then you said you're going to the Rockets game Thursday, so if you guys see my boy Ike out at the Rockets game, don't be afraid to say what's up.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
let- and yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We're gonna drop this one tomorrow, Monday morning, bright and early. So inside the H, bro. Let's go.
Yes, sir.